Yeah, welcome back to Studiosetstage. I'm your host, Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Marq.
That's right. My
Yes.
co-host, Riding Shotgun. What's going on? Again, Studiosetstage. We are back in the building, guys. Good to have you always riding with us like every single week, you know?
Yes, indeed. Studiosetsstagers. Again, you could have been anywhere in the world, but we're so glad that you made it here with us on this brand new episode.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
We brand new every week, right? So that's why you guys tune in, because we're bringing fire, we're bringing some nuance. Hopefully, we're bringing some things that you just want to talk about. Like, sometimes you just want to get things, off your chest and then learn a little bit, right? So that's what we're hoping Studiosetstage is doing for you.
Right. Every day is another day, a brand new day. It's the first day of the rest of your life. So, with this episode, we want to enhance that experience, for everyone out there. And again, thank you so much for following us. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening to us on all of the podcasts, where you can listen to us.
Yeah, well, definitely for you guys who are watching us right now, it's YouTube.
Yes.
We are live in effect. We like that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button right now. Okay. So subscribe. We always say that, just like Marq Dean said, you're following us. So we love that. And also be sure to share. Okay.
Yes.
It just means so much to us for you to subscribe, but also just to share with a friend. Maybe it's a coworker,
right?
Maybe somebody who's in the Studiosetstage arena, even outside of the Studiosetstage arena. A lot of things that we talk about is not just for people in our business, right? We've had so many people like just DM us or email us and say how much they have appreciated like the previous seasons,
right?
Of Studiosetstage
all the time. Definitely, guys. Thank you for like Cynthia said, hitting the thumbs up, subscribing to us, and definitely like the feedback. Like this might have been maybe like last season. I received an email from someone that just really thanked us for just words of encouragement. Because during this time and everybody is going through the pandemic and all of those things.
Everybody's going through everything, right now.
Everything. But that really meant a lot. So
meant a lot to us.
We appreciate that.
Thank you so very much. Once again, guys, you're watching us again, YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Hit us up on studiosetstage.com. But Studiosetstage, get at us at gmail.com. Studiosetstage@gmail.com. Any inquiries, sponsorships, you want to get on the show possibly, right? That we, like Marq Dean and I, we definitely reach out to people who we feel like, who could add to my life, to Marq Dean's life, and definitely to your life, especially if you're a novice or even somebody who you're in the business and you're just trying to stay afloat, right? And you just need a little bit of encouragement.
And this is what it's all about. It's to definitely know that, hey, what we do, we try to enlighten, we try to inspire, we try to uplift, and definitely, if you might not listen to the whole thing, but it might be one thing that we say that could make the difference.
Oh, don't say that, Marq Dean. Y'all listening to the whole show. We don't want to hear that you tuned in for like 10 minutes and then you was like, I don't want to listen to this.
Trying to be a little modest, but I know, hey, y'all listen to the whole episode. I know y'all
the whole episode, because it's a lot better than a whole bunch of this crap that's flying across the airwaves right now. So okay. Come on, we tell it like it is here on Studiosetstage, and like I said, we hope that's why you tune in to us. So, you guys can reach us on all social platforms. I'm at Cynthia Mallard, right?
Yes.
Where you at?
You can reach me at Marq Dean Music. That's MarQDAN Music. On all social platforms, IG, Facebook, and Twitter.
So we want to first start out by saying happy Martin Luther King Jr. week to you. Monday, absolutely just breathtaking. I think like every MLK day, I know people say MLK, but I'm so intentional to say Martin Luther King Jr. because there are some people who just kind of skate over his name, and they skate over his name, and they skate over the meaning of who he was and how great of a man that he was. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of partial to that MLK. Like,
well, you know,
I know it's a short, and you know,
and it's short, but yes, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's definitely the name that personifies what he was, what he is, and what he means to so many Americans, and how he was a true definition of a true American, a real American. And you know, in terms of what he meant, what his purpose was, his
assignment. You know, I did like I think I did a post like on just on like all my social channels, like my IG, Facebook, everywhere, LinkedIn or whatever. And I was just talking about, you know, this is what it looks like when you accept God's assignment for your life. What? Right. When you accept God's assignment for your life, it don't get no better, right?
Right. And knowing that, you know, as a leader, you know, and
he was a true leader. He was the epitome of a leader.
And you know, it wasn't really his, he really wasn't trying to be that. But like you said, it was something that was, hey, it was a purpose. It was his purpose to become
God's
who he became.
Exactly.
You know, and so you know, with that, he left a legacy. He left a legacy that is timeless for ages in terms of equality, bringing civil rights, being a champion, not only a champion, but you know, the author of the civil rights movement, being the figurehead in a time that, you know, was one of the most turbulent times in history of America.
And not saying he was like the only one at the time that was doing that. He was just the person who was designated to galvanize like the movement. So you have so many people. I know, like, you're like from Tuskegee. You know,
shout out,
what a historic
everybody.
We broadcast from Atlanta, historic, you know, saying ATL,
hometown,
and then I worked in Montgomery, birthplace of civil rights movement. So guys, we have walked the trail, we know the history, and it's like we know how important. We know that Martin Luther King Jr. Day was Monday, right? But honestly, all of the work that he did, and just all of just the result of everything that he did, like he changed the entire world for people like you, for people, for me, for you, for our children, for hundreds of years to come. You know?
And to do that in such a short span.
39 years old,
right? 39 years old.
39 years old, guys.
But to achieve what he achieved, and also what he contributed to humanity as a whole, you know, and you know, a lot of people didn't understand that at the time. I mean, he was ridiculed, you know, but hey, even Jesus was ridiculed. So you know, but at the same time, you know, the goal was to be acknowledged and treated equally as a man, you know,
as a human
being,
and not be looked upon as an animal with any, you know, unequal rights, you know. You know, and to, you know, and to definitely put out the message of saying, hey, you know, we as a people, and everyone, you know, has to stand for justice. You know, I was kind of upset, you know, guys. I know we're gonna get on to like really like lead into our topic, like what we're gonna, you know, but I was really upset. Like, I think I asked our son, guys, I was like, you know, talking about Martin Luther King, especially like in the school system and stuff like that. So a lot of the kids, I remember, including my son, you know, just asking them, you know, who is Martin Luther King Jr.? You know, why is he important and stuff like that? But you know what, I shouldn't say I was surprised, but a lot of school systems yes, they talk about Martin Luther King Jr., right? But they say, oh, he was a great man.
Right.
And why was he great? I asked, a 6-7-year-old, they're like, oh, because he believed in, equality for all people. But they neglect to say why he was leading that charge. And I feel like that's a disservice.
Well, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
So
I
leave. It's like
right,
the teachers. Right. I'm sure it's a directive from the higher ups. No doubt conservatives. No doubt people who are still carry racist hearts, who are in leadership, positions that dictate the history books. They don't want to. They have said this. They don't want to inflict guilt among our children who are in the school system. So I've heard that argument.
I think there was I was watching this movie and character in this particular film, they were stating that they said, well, there's a reason why you can't why we don't have time machines. You can't go back in history and rewrite. You can't go back. You can't press rewind. I think if that was the case, everybody would probably press rewind, and then the world as we know it wouldn't exist. But nevertheless, history is that you cannot go back. All you can do is live in the present right now. Yeah, but you can't ignore the past. Exactly. Because if you ignore the past, it might repeat itself. Those things we don't want to repeat, because too many people died for the rights, just to have equal rights. To be able to go to like a water fountain, guys. Drink some water was horrible. And going to a restaurant, stay at a hotel, walk through the front door. These are all the things that like we as African Americans, right? Like we couldn't even do, guys. Like the right to not have dogs sicked on you, water hoses, piss thrown on you. Oh yeah. While you're walking to work, I mean, it's funny. My father, during the time when they had the Selma to Montgomery March, this was in 1965. He was a college student at Alabama State University, alma mater. And he said during that time they participated. Students participated in the march. And he remembered marching into Montgomery, into the Capitol, and where they were marching. And he said that they saw, there was these, Klansmen. They were all around, and people, and man, they had their Confederate flags, and some was up on the roofs, and they say they were peeing in jugs and pouring. He said they was scared on some of the people. I can imagine. Oh yeah, he said. I mean, he said like the tension you could cut it with a knife. Yeah, you could cut it with a knife. Yeah. He said, but the thing about it was they knew the cause, and people were willing to give their lives. Can you imagine right now seeing like the KKK like in their like traditional garb, like in 2022? See these millennials. See these millennials. They be laughing at they. Can you imagine? I mean, I could see that. I can see the millennials like right now. Yeah. Like, but the reason why they're able to laugh is because of who? Because of people like who? Like Martin Luther King Jr. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think in like you were saying, I mean, and I didn't mean to cut, but to add on what you were saying, I feel like it's been purposely done to water down, his legacy and the full scope of what he Dr. did. Martin Luther King was. The power, because if you actually lay it out to young children, they will, any child of any race will be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Right. And there are still people out here who still, who would go back to Jim Crow if it flipped. If it flipped tomorrow, they would be happy. Right. There are people who are like that out here. And and don't get me wrong. Hey, I have a dream. was a wonderful, wonderful, you know, in terms of
it was playing everywhere this past week, right?
You know,
everywhere.
In terms of that, was, you know, what they say, okay, if you were to compose or write a speech, this would be, you know, that one speech that you would aspire to write. But however, you know, his legacy was bigger than just that speech.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, even going on his path as he was evolving, you know, towards the end of his death, you know, he really went from, okay, we know that we want equal rights, you know, civil rights, but we also want equal rights on the economic side.
We want to share the dollar. Exactly. You know, if you're making 50 cents, we want to make 50 cents. If you're making $5, we should be making $5. We want access to the money pool.
Right.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
so you know, that's why, you know, I really say, and you know, they were saying that, you know, hey, well, MLK Day, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a day off, but it's a day on in terms of remembering you know, the cause, the causes, you know, and why he is revered, you know, and
we call it
terms of a leader.
We call it Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. year because everything that he did, it's not a day is not even enough, right?
It's the least.
Fit everything that he has changed for us in this 2022. So we're saying Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Year, you know, because I mean, I think about, look at us, you know, we're broadcasting here, Studiosetstage. I think about, you know, my career in working with like all white staff, you know, working with corporate companies, no matter what business you're working for, maybe big Fortune 500 companies, it's because of him. It's because of people like Martin Luther King Jr. who blazed the trail, who knocked the doors down so that we could step in and not have spit, you know, thrown upon us or dog sticked upon us, you know.
And you know, those are some mighty powerful shoulders to stand on.
Oh man, what you talking about?
That we are standing on, you know, a powerful generation. That, you know, at the leadership, at the helm of that was individuals like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So definitely
you gotta do something. You gotta get, as Outcasts say, you got to get up and get out and get something. All right. So we love you.
Indeed.
Just wanted to say thank you so very much, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for this entire year. And so that, you know, that leads us, guys, you know, we're just talking about leaders, man. We're talking about like you know, what makes a great leader. Shoot, maybe you're a leader, maybe you're not, maybe you're in a position of leadership and maybe you shouldn't be there.
Well, you know, and we see that every day.
It goes,
you know, we see that every day.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
So anyway, you know what, I'm gonna say this. I've worked, like I said, in different arenas, and it's always easy to me. It's always easy to identify like just a great leader. You know?
And there's certain things that definitely, I mean, that makes leaders effective. And one thing that I've always really, in terms of honing in on what true leadership is about being able to acknowledge talents within others.
Oh my goodness.
And to help bring those talents with those individuals to the surface, because a lot of times, in many cases, you know, you might be inundated with so many other things that you don't actually have a way or really a focus on, okay, where my talents are, you know, where do I fit into?
Well, you know what,
and a true leader helps that. It helps to facilitate. He's a facilitator of the he or she. Let me say that, he or she.
I was just gonna say, everybody, you know, everybody wants to be a leader. and whatever. Like everybody, you know, all the chiefs, everybody wanted, like we say, that's an old saying. All the chiefs, but no Indians. No Indians. And it is so true. You know, I remember just working in, it doesn't just whatever. And I was the kind of person who I was like, you know what, I've always been a team player. I've always been a team player, and I just enjoyed helping, being a part of the team and using my talents to make like the whole great. Like I bring Cynthia, you know, to help the greater good or whatever. And you know, there were some people who was like, they didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, because you know, when you look at it, I guess the leader has all the money. Sometimes the leader has the clout, you know, sometimes the leader just has the power. You know what I'm saying? Well, money, power, respect, that whole, you know.
But, you know, a lot of that too is kind of cliche-ish to a certain degree, because really at the end of the day, those that are true leaders, they don't really march to that beat.
That's true.
True leadership really comes down to understanding that you cannot be an island, first of all. You like I said before, you have to be a facilitator.
You do. You do.
And you also have to think in terms of, you know, as far as galvanizing and bringing people together. Being a realtor, if you will, of that. You know,
a realtor of people.
Yes. Exactly. Not necessarily saying, okay, well, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to do this and I know everybody's going to follow me. No, it's like you break it down for people so it can be relatable. You can relate. You know, and
I think a lot of leaders. But you know, I think a lot of leaders who are on the other side of that, they feel like, oh, I don't want to look soft. I don't want to look like a pushover. I think, you know, that's, you know, I've worked for we both have worked for people, and they call themselves ruling with an iron fist.
Right.
And it really wasn't an iron fist. It was more of like their ego. It was like they were ruling with their ego.
And that's what I'm saying. Those that aren't you're not going to be effective. I've worked for, and I've seen both sides of it. And even in understanding, you know, understanding and studying, you know, the elements of and the factors of what makes a great leader, and really looking at it. You say, okay, well, I see this person, but you know, a lot of leaders, sometimes they have to let their ego, even though, hey, look, they make no apologies for knowing what they know.
Of course.
However, they know that, hey, I have to remain open, because one thing that's constant is change. And as change comes, you have to be able to, you know, shift. You got to be able to adjust, and you got to be able to forecast when those shifts are coming, and then be able to relay it out to other people. And like you say, as far as your team, you know, building a team,
you got to know how to do it.
You know, kind of like what Jigga said, you know, he said, man, like real bosses, they don't really understand, man, too much is given, much is required.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? Like we always say.
You know, and really, you know, like true leadership, and if you want to relate that to being a boss or whatever, bosses actually create other bosses.
Well, they create opportunities.
And they create opportunities,
right? It's not even about creating the boss, but I get what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
It's about it's about bosses create opportunities for people to flourish where they are.
Exactly.
So
putting it in that context.
Huge. That's huge. So if you are just joining us, this is Studiosetstage. I'm Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Marq.
And we are just in the middle of this like awesome conversation, just talking about leadership. Kind of like we feel like, you know, what is a leader? Well, you know, what's the best way to lead, and really just talking about it, because of course this is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Week. Yes, we know MLK Day was Monday, but like I said, we always say here on Studiosetstage, Martin Luther King Jr. Year, because he did that many things that would fill up every single day of the year that we could talk about, you know what I'm saying?
And he definitely personified what leadership should look like.
Exactly.
In a lot of respects, you know, being selfless and a lot of, for the most part, and understanding that, hey, you know, I have to not look at self-gain, but look at the bigger picture, you know, and, you know, look at things that will help to push and expand the whole platform for everybody can have an opportunity to succeed, excel, and, you know, live, you know, and pursue, you know, the American dream, if you will, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I, you know, looking at that, and also in terms like you were talking about leadership, you know, not just talking the talk, but actually walking the walk.
That's hard to do.
Leading by example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because some people, because I know leaders in it doesn't matter in Studiosetstage, outside of Studiosetstage, you have somebody who'll tell you, right? But they can't do it themselves. They can't do it themselves. And it's okay, you know, because you never know. They may have paid their dues, they may have forgotten or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They're in the position for a reason, right?
Right. Exactly.
But you definitely want somebody, I think, who can, like you said, who can relate, you know. I was talking, I had a girlfriend I was talking to, and they were talking about their boss, like, you know, I just want them to be a realist or whatever versus being positive. That kind of threw me, like realism, you know, versus positivity. So to me, I felt like, was she associating realism with negativity? You know what I'm saying? Because she was like, the boss is, you know, positive, and he don't understand, and it ain't positive. And I kind of had a problem with that, because I was just like, what's wrong with the boss being positive?
Well, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel though that
what's wrong with a leader being positive? What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't think, you know,
is positivity not real? Or is not real? Is that what people are like thinking? I'm just,
well, I think sometimes, I think coming from that, maybe understanding, I'm just saying, possibly coming from that place, I think they're stating that, well, if I'm positive all the time, am I hiding something? Or is, you know, the truth, you know, and like they're saying, you know, the truth doesn't come to the party to make friends. Sometimes. The truth can be jarring. It can be, you know, it can be something serious that you have to deal with.
Totally.
It can be life altering.
Most times it is,
And but in that way, I think it's not the what, it's the how. And I think, just like it says in scripture, there are seasons for things. You know, I think you do have to be firm and be assertive and
but you can still be positive though.
But you can maintain
positive, right? Exactly.
Like they say, you know, you can have that iron fist, but have a satin glove over the iron fist.
Because I felt like, I mean, God, we wish we could go back to him, but I mean, I felt like President Obama was positive, right? I felt like he was positive. I felt like he was a realist also.
Under the circumstances, you know, I think, you know, and you know, you have to play the cards that you're dealt.
That's true.
Too.
Very true. Very true.
However, you know, in those cards, you got to know the game that's being played.
So you agree that you should have a can-do attitude too, right? As far as in leadership, right?
Well,
I believe that, of course, guys.
I feel that, you know, I feel that, you know, there are times when you have to, amidst of everything, is keep, especially now when you're talking about different, leadership, there's different levels of it.
That's true.
You know, because you have those that are leaders of countries, you have leaders over Fortune 500, you know, corporations, and you have
leaders over departments,
right,
i.e. our friend like Cyrano Hardy.
What's up? Okay.
What's up?
Yeah. You know, but no, I mean, you got to you really in that respect though, honestly, you know, you have to understand the culture, and that is a requirement of, you know, true leaders. They understand their culture of their organization. They understand what's going
understands
on.
The culture. The Cyrano understand the culture.
Yeah. I mean, I believe. Yeah,
we think you do.
Yeah. She's so funny.
Shout out to Turner. Shout out to all of our TV executives. I have to throw that out there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, I was saying though, actually, in that respect, leaders, man, you know, if you're trying to be an effective leader, you have to know those things and know that not everyone, you know, you're going to have to be able to deal with different personalities
all day,
different
every
attitudes,
day,
all
day.
Of that.
Yes.
But everyone definitely knows or have been in certain situations like that. And any leader that's effective would tell you, in order to be a good leader, you have to also be a good follower.
Oh my goodness.
At some point.
Yes, you do.
You have to be able to follow directions. You got to be able to follow what's going on.
Yeah, because things change.
And
there's always something that you can learn as
always.
A leader. Like
always.
You can't be the type of leader that's like, it's my way or the highway. You're quickly out the door, no matter what business. If you're in music, it doesn't matter what it is, you know, whatever it is, whatever your business is, you're out the door if it's always just your way or the highway.
Well, you know? and you know, I would say this again, and Drew, and don't get me wrong, some people might, I just want to get this straightened out first before we go any further. Now, also effective leaders, they make no apologies for knowing what they know.
No, I get that.
However, as an effective leader, you also don't know everything.
Right. That's right.
That's why you have people and you have that team around you.
Yeah.
And, you know, going back to what we said, you know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you might want to get out the room.
That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Being, you know, effective leaders, man, they always have other people around them that will continue to push where they are. In terms of that.
I'm gonna tell you also, you know, jumping to the next thing, you know, like leadership, like most times great leaders can appreciate not liking a person.
Oh yeah.
Right. You know what I'm talking about? People forget about that part, right? Most millionaires, you know, Oprah, Elon Musk, you know, whoever, name it or whatever, right? They hire people, right? They've got people in their camp who they hate. They probably dislike them as a person totally, right?
Yeah.
But whoever they've hired, they're great at what they do.
Yeah, they're effective.
They get the job done. It might, I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with like the personal, the emotional. I like them. I like to have a drink with them or whatever.
Yeah, we're not going. We're not going to Sunday school.
Great
leaders,
and all that. Great leaders. I feel like they've got that on tap, and I feel like a lot of times, like us, I think we get caught up in the, do I like that person, or do they like me, or they didn't call me, I didn't talk to them, or they didn't go out for a drink with me, or that type of thing. I think a lot of people get caught up in that.
Yeah. Well, I think too, you have to understand that really some people don't really understand the true definition of what leadership is. People have their perceptions. I mean, we all have, and you know, everybody is entitled to their opinion. You know, like everybody has their own vision of what success looks like.
That's true.
Very true. Everybody has their own vision of what success looks like. You know, however, there are certain things that's required of you if you are in that position, if you are a leader, there's going to be certain things that's going to be required of you to implement, to carry out. And that can be sometimes
but you going against the grain, right? You don't have to like,
right?
You don't have to like the person,
right?
They don't have to like you,
right? It's business.
You're right. It's business, and it's like if there's one thing like you think about when it comes to leadership, or you just working in what you do, take the emotion out. I feel like
you have to.
All of the experiences I've had, just in whatever it is, if they had just taken the emotion out,
right?
So many of like all of the crazy stuff that I have witnessed, like in corporate, like it wouldn't even happen. Like you wouldn't have embarrassed yourself, or it wouldn't have been like something where people had to call the police. Like taking the emotion out. Yes, this is Studiosetstage. Let me tell you something. We could just have a show. Maybe that's what we should do. Like, guys, we should just have a show of just about the stuff that we've seen. And I don't know, I'm sure it happens outside of Studiosetstage. But guys, when I tell you that's an idea, y'all let us know. Studiosetstage@gmail.com. Y'all let us know. Do y'all want us to do a show on just like the worst,
the craziest
things that have happened, like in the workplace, like in Studiosetstage? It's crazy, y'all. And you wouldn't believe it,
especially in
the emotion. Back to the emotion. Back to the emotion. It's just the emotion will have you out here on a ledge, like jumping in the Pacific Ocean, and you just don't know why.
Well,
because the emotion got to you.
And you have to be able to separate that. Say you can't wear your heart on your sleeve. You have to definitely not meaning, and that doesn't mean that you have to just be numb and cold and don't be passionate about what you believe in. But at the same time, everything has its place.
It does.
And when it comes down to
you have to know when to turn it on and turn it off.
Exactly.
Knowing when to turn it on and turn it off. So listen, I think really, like, I mean, God, what else can we say about leadership? We just hoping you guys are great leaders. Like if you're looking, to be that person who is ushering, like literally, like you were saying earlier, you can be a leader in different arenas, right? And then there's different levels to leadership.
There are.
Right?
And first of all, really another effective thing that I noticed with effective leaders is that they really find their purpose.
They
find the purpose.
They find out why they're here on this earth. Like back to Dr. Martin Luther King
and what
Jr.
they're passionate about.
Hey, why you're here on this earth? Like the little breadcrumbs, like you following the breadcrumbs. You're following the purpose, right?
And another example of leadership, and how leadership can come in many ways. Leaders have to also be inspiring. They have to inspire. Another
like Dr. King.
Like Dr. King.
He inspired. He inspired millions and billions of people.
Yes. Another gentleman that I must have to add. Recently we lost was the legend, actor, director, Sir Sidney Poitier. Which passed last week.
94 years old. Amazing. And, absolutely amazing. First African American to win Best Actor.
For the Oscar. Academy Award. Back in
a time
the
when
60s. I think it was 1963.
When we were in the middle of segregation. So that tell you a lot. It tell you who he was, how he was. He wasn't playing no games.
And was a staunch supporter of Dr. King, of the civil rights movement. And but he was inspiring, like you said. Very inspiring.
Another characteristic of great leaders, they have to be able to inspire. And like I said, you can do it in any arena, right? Any arena that you're in. We lost recently Betty White.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I, think about how many people, I was just thinking about how Golden Girls, how inspiring like that show was. Like literally, I was like in the grocery store one time and I think like they were singing like the theme song. Thank you for being a friend. I was just inspiring. Yeah. So you can be a leader everywhere, anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. So guys, we are continuing, like I said, our season 3. Yes. And we are so happy. Again, I'm Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Marq Dean.
And we are here. We are the host of Studiosetstage. Yes. And we just want you to come along with us this season, right?
Yes.
Just like previous seasons.
Yes. And please, man, again, thank you for all the support. Yeah. But please follow, subscribe, definitely check us out. Our website, Studiosetstage.com. We've got some more things in store, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we're revamping a lot of things, guys. Like we're revamping like Studiosetstage.com, the place where you guys were able to just kind of go and grab merchandise, and you're still able to do that. Yes. But we're in the process of just selecting new items that we hope that you will love and that you will support. Also, don't forget that you can reach us across all social media, right? Yes. At Studiosetstage, and get at us through those different channels, right?
Yes, definitely. And of course, YouTube is where you're going to see this.
That says you're going to subscribe.
Yes.
Hit the button.
Thumb up button,
right now.
Definitely check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, as well as the Odyssey app.
Yes, right. Yes. So you have no excuse where you can't like watch the show, watch previous shows, right? Yes. Watch previous guests that have been on Studiosetstage, that agreed to come on the show to help elevate me, to elevate Marq Dean, and to really just kind of give you just a leg up, a hand up, just dropping some jewels, right? That we all can use, maybe if not now, maybe like in the future.
Yes, and definitely, and that's what we're here for. Yeah, we are here to encourage, inspire, and to help maybe light the spark in that next.
Yes,
because we all have to be like time. And I've said this before, let's move forward. Yeah. We got to move forward like time. Time doesn't stop. It doesn't look sideways. No. It don't even look in its rear view. It keeps moving forward. That's what we're going to do here at Studiosetstage. We're going to keep moving forward and bringing you things to help you move forward as well.
Yeah. So listen, guys, we just want you to do the most. Okay. Do the most. I mean, it's kind of how I have lived my life. No matter what's happening, do the most. Do the most in whatever it is that you have been, chosen to do. And I say chosen because I believe everything that we do, whatever your profession, you have been chosen to do that. If that door opened up, you were able to walk through it. You were chosen. So why not do the most? Why not take it to the umpteenth power? Because that door was open for you.
Yeah.
For you,
a reason.
Right. For you reason. To do the most. Right. Okay. So again, you can reach us Studiosetstage at Gmail, and of course all social platforms at Studiosetstage. And then also individually, I'm at Cynthia Mallard. You can reach me.
Yeah. Marq Dean Music on all social media platforms.
Right. So we love you guys so very much, and thank you for tapping in with us this week. For Marq Dean, I'm Cynthia Mallard, and this is your favorite show, Studiosetstage. Next week.